I'm just kidding. I was just kidding. Those first 36 years, I was joking. Now I'm actually ready to take my life seriously. As you get older, you really realize what people were talking about when they said
life is short.
And there's almost a sense of panic if you haven't yet accomplished something that you want to, or you haven't created something that you've wanted to create. You haven't expressed yourself in ways that you've wanted to. There are things that you haven't said, certain things to certain people. You haven't had that conversation. You haven't taken that risk yet. What are you waiting for? Are you going to go through the rest of your life regretting that you didn't follow your heart? That you didn't do what you truly felt like you were meant to do? Are you okay with living a lie? Living a life that just feels mediocre? That just feels like, yeah, it's okay. I have a good job. I have good benefits. I live in a safe neighborhood. I have finally reached the point where I am going to create what I want to create for the sole purpose of creation. I'm going to allow that impulse to move through me. I am going to become a vessel for authentic expression, not for the external goal of achievement or for followers or for subscribers or any other form of validation. I'm doing this for myself, not for other people. Even though, yes, do I want to benefit other people? Do I want to impact other people? Absolutely. But I'm doing this because I have to. The number one rule for taking your life seriously is to stop taking direction and guidance from people who have never been where you are going. Do not ask for directions to places these people have never been. Everyone is going to have opinions on how you should live your life, but most people have not even figured out their own. Why would you take advice from people who have never been where you're going? You have to own your choices every single day. Whether you realize it or not, you are the central character in the story that you are telling. So ask yourself, what kind of story am I telling with my actions? All of us are in the process of creating the reality that we believe that we deserve. It can be so easy in our culture and our society. If you are a reasonably privileged person and you're part of the middle class, middle upper class, it can get really comfortable. And you can find yourself living a life that you wouldn't have chosen necessarily, but it works. It's comfortable. You got a good job. You got the family. You got the house. You got the car. You got the TV. You go on the vacation. But are you fulfilled? Are you happy? Is this what you want for yourself? Like, if you got serious with yourself and you opened a notebook and wrote out your dream life. I know this sounds so, write about your dream life. But really, if you scripted what you would want your life to look like and make a list of all the things that you would want in your life, all the things that you want to have, the way you want to feel, what you want your life to look like, how do you want to be spending your time, who do you want to spend it with, what kind of work do you want to do, where do you want to live? And then you compare and contrast all the things that you have now. Who do you spend your time with? Where do you live? What do you do for work? How do you feel? What are your habits? How are your relationships? How many of these things match up? And if the majority of them don't, you're not taking your life seriously. We get so stuck in these patterns and it starts to weigh on you because you're not living what you believe. It starts to tear you apart. There's someone I follow, Dr. Cassie Huckabee, and she always says your life is your medicine, which is where my channel name and my handle, everything comes from. And she says, you don't believe in what you talk about, you believe in what you live. I have been sabotaging myself for so long that it started to feel semi-normal. And I would do a lot of the things. I would take a lot of initial action, like buying a course, reading a book, listening to an interview, working with a coach, going to a retreat, even imagining myself living the life that I want, doing visualization, but I wasn't actually taking the steps to get there, the steps that would actually move the needle and get me toward the reality and the future that I wanted for myself. And I personally got to a place where I can feel it in my body. There's this dissonance forming when you know deep down that you're meant for so much more. You are just stuck. You feel stuck, but safe and comfortable, but like dying inside. So my creating this YouTube channel, this is me taking action and practicing what I have preached for so long to people in my life, following the pull inside of me towards something that feels purposeful and meaningful and rich. Saying, find something you love and you'll never work another day in your life. And that's how I feel about this. I will tell you, I have worked on this channel and making and editing videos more in the last 2 weeks than I've worked on anything. Every day, weekends, I am becoming obsessive about it. I have made this commitment to myself. And honestly, so much of this resilience and strength and motivation and drive has been developed through developing my confidence and self-esteem. I love having these kinds of conversations, talking about these topics and exposing people to different perspectives, new ideas and thoughts, and a maybe rather unique approach to living that is oftentimes very counter to the status quo. I read once that Steve Jobs talked about looking at his daily to-do list and asking himself if any of those things made him feel bad for a certain number of days in a row. And if they did, he knew that something needed to change. This is so simple. It's so basic. It seems like common sense. If you have things on your daily list every day that you dread and you hate, what are you doing? You have to get in touch with your internal guidance system and trusting it and taking it seriously. You gotta learn to listen to your body. So my goal and my focus is shifting to purely what makes me feel good and open and calm and peaceful and aligned, not doing what I think I should be doing, not being driven by ideas of financial gain, what's going to make me the most money or the most successful. I care about how I feel about my life. I care about clearing the blockages in my energetic body, the blockages in my throat that have kept me from sharing my voice. I care about starting to create things and put things out into the world and letting that energy flow through me. I've spent so much time consuming information, stuffing more and more inside, more knowledge, more ideas, more beliefs, more perspectives, without a creative outlet for any of that to move through me. And energy is meant to flow and move and be transmuted. So if you're constantly taking in energy in whatever form it is, thoughts, beliefs, news, interviews, television, conversations, learning this, learning that, taking in food, all of that, it has to move through you, right? You consume food and then you defecate. This is a cycle, right? This is energy moving through you. And the same thing needs to be done with all the learning and studying and personal development and spiritual growth, all of that content that you're taking in and absorbing. It needs a channel to be then expressed. So you take all of that inside of you, it transforms into something else through your unique perspective, through you. And then you share it with the world. So again, I'm doing this for myself because I feel compelled to, and I know I need to. And at the same time, I really hope that it inspires one person, someone is inspired to do the same for themselves. Trust me, you need to just commit. Don't wait for the right time. It isn't coming. The magical moment is right now. At the end of the day, this is about living in alignment with who you truly are and acting on what you believe in. Life is too short to keep waiting. So I've made my choice. And now it's your turn. All right, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.